The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving
Morning,
you.
it is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Craig Wells, who's in for Jamie this morning. He'll be back on Monday. Traveling today from Miami. Jeff McGuire's here. I'm here. We are thankful that you're here. I mean, it's a weird week because you're trying to figure out what in the world day is it, you know? And you think about now, it's like, man, Christmas seems like about 3 weeks ago. Everybody was really looking forward to this game yesterday, obviously, with you know, and the new year and ending a year and a holiday in the middle of the week. And, you know, I mean, what's the company handbook say about New Year's Eve? What about New Year's Day? Craig and I worked for an hour yesterday. Lo and behold, come to find out, we were lucky not to have to work beyond 7, you know, because Jamie and Clint went in with the band equipment truck yesterday there at Hard Rock Stadium because they were trying to find an open gate, and so we were fortunate that we only had 6 to 7 yesterday.
Could have got a phone call saying, "Hey, as soon as we get in the stadium, and we don't know when that's going to be,
then we'll be glad to take over."
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they were there, and glad that they were available. And you know, and look, you had an outstanding crowd. From Texas Tech, and I mean, you could hear the band throughout the whole game. I thought that was amazing.
Rarely do the announcers make a point to say something about the crowd, but early in the game they said, you know, it's loud, and they said 75%, you know, Red Raider fans. So good for Red Raider fans for showing up and representing us well. Yeah,
and so there were obviously a lot of people there, and folks driving back and flying back today, and some flew back last night, and team got home last night. A couple things here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I would like to see more rotations at wide receiver next year. I mean, okay. I don't know if that would have helped yesterday or not. I mean, the thing it's shocking. Caleb Douglas, your best receiver, he was targeted 3 times. He had no reception.
Yeah.
Coy Aiken, who had an outstanding Big 12 championship game, had 2 targets and 1 reception yesterday for 6 yards. Reggie Virgil, 2 receptions, 3 targets, 29 yards, 7 touchdowns. 7 yards after catch, I should say. So let's see.
How many yards rushing did we end up with?
We had total of the net yards rushing was 78. Jacoby Williams had 85, but remember one of that's on
50-yard run.
50-yard run. Cam Dickey 11 totes for 29, and then Baron Morton 6 for 7. He had losses of 32 yards due to the sacks.
Chuck, they did to us exactly what I thought we had to do to them. They stuffed our run and made us one-dimensional, and their pass rushing just absolutely teed off and just came after us. And it wasn't a bunch of stunts or any. I mean, there were a lot, but they just flat said, "Hey, we're going to stuff the run, and we're going to make you throw." And every time we tried to throw, the kids either a coverage sack, a hurried pass. How many tip passes did we have?
It looked like he was throwing the ball down too.
Yep.
It looked like, and he threw it a little bit sidearm too.
Yep. And I mean, they did to us what we needed to do to them, and then we needed to score. They did to us, and then they did score some. So it's just when you make a team one-dimensional, it's hard for that team to, make any headway. And we did not play good. I mean, I'd like to tell you something else.
Sometimes the other team is the reason why you didn't play good.
That's exactly right.
And that's what I think.
Yep.
Now, in the first quarter, how about this? So Dante Moore yesterday, he goes 26 of 33 for 234 yards. You want to take a wild guess how many yards passing he had in the first quarter? 93.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so for the rest of the game, he had what? 120, 140 yards,
40, yeah,
141 yards for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
and part of that is because he kept getting a short field because either you turned it over or you turned it over on downs, and I mean their field position yesterday was I mean they should look at themselves and go, you know what, we're pretty fortunate to have won this game because really we should have won it by more. And the 23-0 is a little bit of a misnomer just because of them getting the late touchdown.
Right.
You know, when you basically were still trying to go, okay, we'll see if we can dial up a 16-point play here.
Yeah. And 23 points you should have been able to handle. I mean, or 16 points because we wouldn't have given that last one up. But the 0 on the offensive side just kills you. I mean, you've got to be able to take advantage. We had a couple of opportunities with short fields and didn't take advantage of it at all.
This Texas Tech Red Raiders, good season. Remember, you made it to the championship and you played an extra game as a reward. You've accomplished more than anyone else has done. Very proud of you. Yes, that's a sane text right there.
Yep.
Here's an insane text. Do you think Mac Luckwitz will be asked to step down? No, he just signed a new contract. He was utterly unprepared for this game. How do you know that? And Joey just stood on the sidelines with his arms crossed.
Oh, you weren't watching. He was talking so much to the headset.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm just reading them like he wrote them. Okay, y'all pulled me in. Oregon's defense looked a lot better than they are. Indiana's going to expose them for real this time. I don't know. Is Indiana the best team that's left? Ole Miss. I mean, for Ole Miss to be down 19-12 and to be down what they were going into the fourth quarter, and then their defense had a goal line stand at the end because it sure looked like Georgia was going to score there in the waning moments of that game, and then Ole Miss, despite the fact that they had a pass interference and a holding, and you gave them goal-to-go situations all over the place there at the end, they couldn't score a touchdown because they score a touchdown, that game's over.
Yep.
But they couldn't, and then Ole Miss goes down, and the kid hits a field goal, and so you don't even have to go to overtime.
Mississippi's defense was not heralded going into that game, but they sure came out of it.
And this is after they really blew an opportunity at the end of the first half to at least try to kick a field goal to make it closer than 9 points because of clock management and because of a receiver that just wasn't it was just not very smart.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Starting in 1918, after repeated clashes over pay with the Brooklyn Robins owner Charlie Ebbets, star right fielder and future Baseball Hall of Fame manager Casey Stengel is traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1953, NBA Baltimore Bullets begin a record 32-game road losing streak. 12 games in 1952-53, 20 games in 53-54, with a 73-66 defeat at the Indianapolis Olympians. 1965, New York Jets signed future Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath to a $427,000 contract over 3 years, a pro football record at the time.
He made more endorsements than he ever made in contract.
He still is. It's really saddens me to remember Joe Namath modeling pantyhose and being that guy to now selling hearing aids. I mean, it sucks getting old.
Yep. It does. I will ditto that.
1977, Major League Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn suspends Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner for 1 year due to tampering charges with the Gary Matthews free agency signing. And in 2010, Taylor Potts threw for 372 yards and 2 touchdowns, with Baron Batch running for 101 and 2 scores himself as the Red Raiders win the Alamo Bowl over Michigan State 41-31. Ruffin McNeil coached the team with Lincoln Riley as the offensive coordinator.
And Sonny Cumbie in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
It is National Buffet Day
Nothing wrong with that.
and National Cream Puff Day.
Nothing wrong with that.
I do miss a really good pizza buffet, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those have kind of gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
There's still some around.
COVID kind of did away with a lot of buffets.
Well, yeah.
A lot of things died with COVID, unfortunately. Before we get to today's birthdays, some birthdays I want to shout out today. How about for tomorrow? One of my favorite guys we've had here, Tim DeRuyter, turns 63 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Former defensive coordinator
He's
here.
63.
63.
Okay.
Sunday, one of all of our favorites. Like, you might want to be texting him right now to say happy birthday. Garrett Luft will turn 43 on Sunday.
Wow. He's a young man to be a superintendent.
I start
is.
to say, Superintendent Garrett Luft.
Yeah. He's always little.com to me, though. And then one of my favorites, and should be one of yours, Davis Martin, turning 29 on Sunday.
White Sox legend.
White Sox hard luck story. That might be the way to describe him right now. But today, Tay Diggs is 55. Dax Shepard is 51. Cuba Gooding Jr., 58. Fernando Tatis Jr. is 27. David Cone, 63. Edgar Martinez, 63. Jack Hanna, alive and kicking at 79. And Calvin Hill is 79.
All right.
Calvin Hill, 79.
Today, not a great day for Chuck Heinz in this history. The president that he impersonates, the absolute best, cannot believe he did this to Chuck Heinz.
What did you do?
All the people in the world to do this to, why on earth would you do this to Chuck Heinz? President Richard Milhouse Nixon signs the Emergency Highway Emergency Conversion Act, setting a new national maximum speed limit.
55.
Prior to 74, individual states set their own speed limit boundaries, with highway speed limits from across the country ranging from 40 miles an hour to 80. President Nixon signed the federal law enforcing all national highway speed limits to be 55.
Because he thought it would conserve gas.
All it did is make Chuck Heinz mad, and I'm here with him.
I wasn't driving in what year was that?
74.
Yeah, I wasn't driving yet.
And that is
Don't tell me
sports
that.
history.
I wasn't driving yet. That's the state in sports history. All right. Some thoughts here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Some are ridiculous. Let's see here. When you think about, let's see, Morton's best play of the day was trying to block downfield on the long Williams run. Yeah, okay. This, James Madison would have beaten us. No, that's preposterous. I mean, James Madison got a lot of, and look, if you want to make the case of did not playing a game hurt you, I mean, last year all four teams that got a bye lost in the first round, and that was kind of washed away with those weren't necessarily the top four teams, right? This year, you have three of the four.
Right.
Georgia loses on a last-second field goal last night. That doesn't mean that they would, if they'd have played the week before, that they'd have been better. Okay. To me, the surprise entry into this, and when you think about the NCAA basketball tournament, there's always a Cinderella in the Sweet 16, is Miami.
Yeah.
For them to go to A&M and win down there, and then to win, Friday, was pretty stunning for them to beat Ohio State, the number one team.
And Ohio State, in comparison, did not look any better offensively than Texas Tech did.
And maybe that's because Miami's defense
that's
played
exactly right.
Played really, really well.
Yeah.
Let's see. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We as fans have to be happy with mediocre football. You won the Big 12 championship. That's all you're ever going to get from Texas Tech. Enjoy the show. The sun will come up tomorrow. Sun's going to come up here in just a little bit. Somebody says this, post of the year. Well, we're 2 days in. I'm glad someone has logic because Chuck Heinz sure doesn't.
Oh.
You can, again, it's Heinz if you want to spell it correctly. But if you don't, that's fine with me too. I don't care. Big 12 champs. Who cares? Sisters of the Poor could put up a fight in the Big 12. Wow. Hey, Chuck, has anyone heard from Pancho lately? No, that was a post-game caller that I think I'm not sure exact words I used for him.
I don't remember the exact words, but they were not positive.
They were not positive.
Not positive at all.
A theme that's kind of started up a little bit on the chat line is comparing us to what James Madison did. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the points that they scored against that defense in the second half was not the defense that played four quarters.
It's like defensive points that we gave up to some of the non-conference teams that we played, like Oregon State or Old Dominion or somebody like that.
Yeah, don't start score comparing because
but whomever we played.
It's not apples and apples.
No. Somebody wanted to know how many 3-and-outs we had. I was trying to go back and count that up. I don't know. It was several. But I think, to me the bigger thing was your inability to convert on fourth down when you needed to, especially the first couple of times. And the turnovers. I mean, man, you can't turn the ball over like you did. I mean, you have an interception, and then they are forced to punt after that. But I mean, of their 23 points, 20 points came after a turnover. If you count the fourth down, which coaches will tell you, stopping them on fourth down is as good as a turnover as anything.
Something else that Coach McGuire mentioned in his post-game conference, and he mentioned it one time on the sideline interview. Second down really got us in trouble. Well, our first downs were okay. They weren't great, but they were okay. But can't tell you how many 3rd and 7s and were longer that we had. Mm-hmm. And you can't survive doing that against a good team. You've got to give yourself a better chance than that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we had some 3, 4, 5 yard runs that give us and then second down we'd get completely stymied.
Mm-hmm. 6:54. We'll get some thoughts from Coach Joey McGuire next. Hey, a reminder, we'll have the Armed Forces Bowl. That's Rice versus Texas Tech at high noon today on 100.7 The Score. The Liberty Bowl. Remember the Liberty Bowl? A year ago, we got creamed in the Liberty Bowl, And, yesterday we lose in the college football playoff quarterfinal. That's pretty good progress.
Yep.
Navy and Cincinnati at 3, and then the Duke's Mayo Bowl tonight with Wake Forest and Mississippi State on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It'll make some people mad. Most of you probably. I always find it amazing how critical, judgmental, and everything along those lines we are of other people and their jobs and their ability to do things when we ourselves do not want to be held accountable by our bosses to the level that we want to hold Joey McGuire or Grant McCaslin or Tim Tadlock or Krista Gerlich or anybody else. Like, why didn't we run that play? Why did we run that play? Does your boss come in or do you want somebody standing outside your office going, why did you make that extra sales call? Why did you come in hungover? Why did you not do what you do? How could you possibly have sent that email? How could you have possibly not seen that customer? How could you have not possibly handled that person better?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, they do it to us.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God. I've been told to take my knee pads off. I haven't worn knee pads since I was in ninth grade playing basketball, and my knees were not very good. But I did wear knee pads.
That's about the last couple of years they were ever worn by anybody.
By anybody, right? And this is like in the mid-'70s, right? So anyway, that's a thought that I always have when everybody's want to be so judgmental and harsh on the chat. And look, I get it. We're sports.
And as a fan, you have the right to state your opinion, and it can be negative, it can be whatever you want. But the bottom line is, don't forget what this team accomplished. Yeah. Please do not forget what this team accomplished.
I remember prior to 2010, okay? Or 2022. We went from 2009 to 2022. We couldn't get above 500 in the Big 12. I don't care that Texas and Oklahoma have left and now we've had some success. It doesn't matter because you replaced them with some teams that are pretty good. I mean, Arizona and Arizona State, pretty good.
And
Utah and BYU, pretty
you play
good.
The schedule you're given. I mean, you're playing the teams that are in the conference.
Let me throw this at you just a little bit.
All right.
You're right. There's a lot about this team that we can look back on and be proud of.
Yeah.
I am not there today.
Yeah.
And today, I am still mad. Today, I watched. I'm less than 24 hours away from the game yesterday where I saw your worst offensive performance of the year, your quarterback's worst performance as a Red Raider, an offensive game plan that really felt like the goal was to not mess up the defense. I'm within the 24-hour window. I can still be mad right now.
And that's okay.
It is.
That's okay.
I can also accept that you just had the most successful season you've ever had as a football program.
And maybe
you are in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You have a Big 12 championship trophy for the first time in your locker room.
Right.
All of those are positive. I'm within the 24-hour window. I'm still allowed to be mad.
And that's okay. Everybody that wants to be mad can.
You can be mad. I'm just, want people to be realistic too. But that's.
And you can have a difference of opinion. It's okay to be different in your opinion. It's fine. And doesn't mean that the other person's wrong, doesn't mean you're right. It just means that you think this and the other person or people think this. And that's okay. That's okay.
When I came to Lubbock 30-some years ago, I went to work for a guy, not the present guy that I'm working for, or people. But I went to work for a guy who I came to find out was literally a certifiable lunatic. Okay? And his radio station was on fire, and I was too naive to understand that, or I just felt like I had the cojones to be able to put it out. And I put it out for the most part. We put it out for the most part. But he gave me one day, he said, he goes, I want you to write this down and put it in your desk drawer, which I still have to this day. This is from 1990, roughly. He said, these are 7 words for you to live by. He goes, I want you to write these down and put them in your drawer. I said, okay. And the words were 7 words to live by. Don't depend upon anyone to be logical. And he said, and that includes me. Yeah. Which turned out to be true. Yeah. Okay. A certifiable lunatic gave me those words to live by. All right, let's listen to Joey McGuire. He was asked this yesterday because he did not make any excuses for the bye week or the 25 days off or anything along those lines. He said, he was asked, is there something off the field you would like to go back and do differently?
Man, the tough thing is if we use the layoff, then we're going to use an excuse. And we believe in this program, you don't make excuses and you don't let anybody make them for you, and so we've got to do better. If this is going to be what the college football playoffs is, then we got to find a way to be better to win that game. But, I think more than anything, it was a mixture of playing a really good Oregon defense and us not executing at a high level. I think that's whenever you're in these games and you're playing teams that's every bit as good and every bit as talented as you are and vice versa, then, you've got to execute at a high level, and I think that was the biggest thing. Now, I'll piggyback off of Dan, and we'll see what everybody else says. I mean, we're in a world that makes no sense, but that's, where we're at, and you got to find a way to be better to win this game.
And maybe part of being better is, okay, now you have to look at your roster and go, okay, how do we get a little bit better up front offensively? How do we get a little bit better at the quarterback position? Because I think we all know this. You weren't winning games totally because you had the best quarterback on the field,
no doubt, and
they knew that. And some have brought up the point like, well, what if Will Hammond was healthy? Would he have gotten an opportunity to go into the ball game? I don't know. They might have used him to offset him a little bit because he changed tempo. Maybe he goes in for a couple of plays and runs or something along those lines. I don't think you were ever going to see Mitch Griffiths in that ball game yesterday unless Barron went down with an injury. And I thought you were going to potentially see him when the ball's taken out of his hands, basically throws an interception or fumble or strip sack, whatever you want to call it. And Barron came out and you could see his arm hanging. And so you almost wondered, okay, did he get hurt on that play? And you could see him on the bench rubbing his arm.
And how many times throughout the year, though, Chuck, did we say as fans, we just need to keep Morton
upright?
We need our offensive line to do this, or we need to do that. And the same thing happened yesterday. Not that he got sacked that many times, but he did not have the opportunity to do what he does best, and that's find a receiver. And then when he found some, they were covered. They did a great job of coverage, and a lot of that had to be that they were putting so much pressure on him, and they could, and it was just a case that we didn't play well offensively. I mean, we just flat did not play well, and you're exactly right. They made us do things that we don't normally do.
Yeah, they put you. I mean, it's like there's times when the other team forces you to do some things. I mean, when thrown into double coverage a couple of times. I mean, part of it was he just didn't have any time to throw either.
Yep. Great text. I guarantee you, Morton wanted to make plays as bad as we wanted him to.
Yes. I do feel bad for Baron Morton today.
Yep.
That kid left his heart with this university. He gave you everything he had, hurt or not, every time he went out there. Yeah. I do not doubt for a single second that he gave you his absolute best effort every time he was on the field.
Yeah, effort was not a problem.
Yesterday, it was not there.
Yeah.
It was not good enough yesterday from him.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing,
this
too.
is the taste in everybody's mouth
Absolutely.
that they're going to carry for him for a while.
There is nobody any more upset at the offense's performance than those that are involved in the offense at Texas Tech.
Well, and here's the other thing, too, is at some point in time, you need to give Baron Morton the same kind of credit that everybody gives B.J. Simmons for playing on one leg.
Yep.
I mean, because he played on one leg for a lot, and we don't know how truly healthy he was yesterday at the end of the day, whether it's his shoulder or his leg or whatever.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys. I would like you to pull up this weekend's schedule for the National Football League.
Man, I got to tell you, football is over for me. But
That's great. I would still like you to pull up the schedule for the National Football League.
I will.
Chuck Heinz, you are not allowed to say the Dallas Cowboys or the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I am not allowed to say the Dallas Cowboys. Mr. Wells, you are not allowed to say the Kansas City Chiefs. As we discussed during the break, That's probably your favorite NFL team right now. I want to know what you think is the most interesting game on the schedule this weekend. If you could only watch one, which one would it be? Again, I can't say the Cowboys. Chuck can't say the Cowboys or the Chiefs. Mr. Wells cannot say the Kansas City Chiefs. The idea being you can't say your team.
Right. I think the one game that is going to be appointment television for me on Sunday, and Sunday may be a traditional Chuck Heinz NFL day in that the Cowboys play at noon, the Chiefs play at 3, and then the Sunday night game is going to be just delicious with the Ravens and the Steelers because of what's on the line. If the Ravens and the Steelers, the winner gets in the playoffs.
Winner gets to keep playing. Loser goes home.
Yeah, and that's really the only game that matters. From that standpoint, so that's the game that I'm looking forward to the most. The second one would be the Seahawks and the 49ers because that's for the number one seed, I believe, in the NFC. Craig?
Panthers Buccaneers, simply because I have followed Baker Mayfield since he came here as a freshman, and I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, but I'm very interested in watching him play. I think he does. He's got a little chip on his shoulder and everything, and a little bit too much of one for me. But that's for all the marbles, and I just kind of like to see how he plays. And then the Panthers, I could care less about. But it's one of those teams that they haven't ever done much, and it's a chance for them to get back to where I think they were in the Super Bowl one year when Luke Kuechly was there.
Mm-hmm.
But
they had a pretty good quarterback that year too.
Yeah. And I'd say Panthers and Bucks. Jeff?
The game I'm kind of looking at has no playoff implications whatsoever, but it has all the feeling of a game that should have playoff implications, and that's the Lions at the Bears. Bears are already in the playoffs. Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs, but that is a much better team than what their record is showing, although at this point in the season they're not really. You look at it and go, Chicago could use this as a tune-up to get in. Detroit could put a pounding on the Bears to make them go into the playoffs hurt. Like, there's some interesting storylines that I think that can come out of this game.
They don't like each other.
And they do not like each other. No. Playing in the same division will do that to a team.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of interested to see how that one goes.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm probably more interested in that game than I am the Cowboy game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I can't begin to tell you how much I hope that Baker Mayfield fails miserably. I root for him not to the least. I mean, they could be playing the Russians. I'm like, go Big Red. They could be playing the Chinese. I'm like, go Big Red. They could be playing Zimbabwe and like go green and gold, whatever their colors are. For what he did here and his lack of being grateful to anyone here at all in this town. I can't wish any more unsuccess for him.
And it may be the NASCAR feeling I have when I watch. I'm waiting for the wreck, you know. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan at all, as far as hoping he succeeds and everything. My curiosity level is a little higher with him than it is other players.
I just want him to have more success than the Browns for what they did to him.
Yeah.
And I think when he just plays football, when he's not bashing the university that I support, when he's not saying things that are 100% not true about the university that I support, there's an element of his story that I do enjoy.
Yeah.
And I do think he got done dirty by the Browns. So I kind of want him to have a little success just to rub it in their noses.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to root for Baker Mayfield.
I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan at all. And I don't want him to be ultra successful and then turn around and start bashing Tech again. I mean, but I don't know. The curiosity, the fact that it's like watching a Tech player, you know, but he really doesn't have anything to do with Tech, you know. And I'm just not a fan, but my curiosity with him is a little bit higher than just the average Joe.
Okay. 7:38 this morning here on the morning drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's see this. Going to have to rebuild most of the defense, losing both defensive ends, top linebacker in the country, at least our safety, and possibly a cornerback, at least one defensive lineman, if not two. Yeah, sure. You're right. Can't just focus on the offense and think the defense is going to be good. The defense has to be rebuilt first because the defense wins championships. Offense has a large amount of production returning. Yeah, and Terrence Carter, by the way, announcing that he was going to come back. So that's great news.
Yeah, that is good news. I mean, he's very good at what he does. Very good.
And I think it can't be lost to for him him finally getting healthy as well. Because I don't know how healthy he was down the stretch.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, in addition to Baron Morton, the other guy that I'm really curious about is Bryce Pollock, whether he is going to stay. He said last weekend, he said on his decision on staying or going pro, pretty much know what I'm going to do, but don't want to say if something changes. So I don't know what to read into that. I've not been around him enough to be able to read between the tea leaves by any stretch of the imagination. But there is a point where you go, can you make more staying than going to the NFL and when you have another year?
Yeah.
And I think you could make the case that he could make more staying in college another year and throwing the dice to play in the NFL a year from now, as opposed to leaving and going now and trying to make a team.
Yeah. If you're not pretty much guaranteed first or second round money, you better stay.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Craig Wells is in for Jamie Lent this morning. Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. Nice to have you with us today. Man, it's a very active Yates Flooring Center chat line today as we come to you from the First United Bank studio. thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. I have posted a picture of me and the newest Lady Raider and Mark Finkner.
She is very tall. Yeah,
you can tell that she is. That Stephanie Okachukwu is definitely 7 feet tall. She needs a waiver from the NCAA, which they're working on today. It's what I mentioned during the boom, 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 and then she's got to get herself in basketball ready. Hopefully in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but you never know. I mean, who knows? They may get in there and go, okay, hey, we're ready to go here in 2 weeks. It's kind of like you buy a new car, you get a new pre-owned, and they say, well, we need to do a little tire rotation. Okay, when can I drive it?
Yep. When can I get it?
It'll be, and it'll change things, right?
Yep.
It'll change
Absolutely.
your inbounds plays and your ability to defend and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that works.
Inbounds play. What are we going to do? Throw it up to her. Just throw it somewhere near the basket.
Yeah, right. I mean, because she's got a 7'4" wingspan.
Yeah.
So just think about how you can literally lob it up there. Can you imagine how crazy Mark Finkner is going to go when she dunks it for the first time? Because she can dunk it.
She can almost dunk it without jumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I would love to see it happen. The person, like, in my dream world that I would love to see from the women's basketball team that could dunk, like going way back for this, would be like Monique Smalls.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing thing.
Kind of like a Spud Webb kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
I'm less impressed when you can just raise your toes and dunk it, which I kind of feel like she could. It's close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he will go as ballistic with her doing
Oh, no,
it.
he will.
I mean,
He
sure.
will. First time, he will.
Oh, first time, yeah, but like the third or fourth, like.
When it becomes old hat, I mean, I'd love for anything to become old hat. Okay.
Oh, sure. With the Lady Raider program, absolutely.
Sign me up for that, right?
I think you can probably count on one hand the number of times that a Lady Raider has been able to dunk the ball.
In a game? I don't think it's ever happened.
Never happened.
Like I said,
the next time will be its first, right? So
like Amber Battle, like she was close.
Yeah.
To being able to, like, if she had been able to pull one off, it would have been. We'd still be hearing screaming.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was somebody that. There were a couple of times when I thought it was going to happen, who was along those same lines, athletic and sleek to that manner, where there were a couple times there was a breakaway and I'm like, oh, is this the time we're going to see this? Because I don't know. I'm sure there have been some players that, on a good day, if they had the mojo going the right direction all by themselves, that probably could get up there and get close. I think JoJo Nowori was close to being able to dunk it, but she just couldn't stay healthy. That was her problem.
Where have we heard that before? Lady Raider.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah.
You talk about the chat line, Chuck. There's one on here that says, I disagree. Sure, he was at times being Morton, was being rushed, but our offensive line gave him time much of the day, not 5 seconds, but nobody gets that in big boy football. His feet were dancing in clean pockets. He relied on sidearm throws, etc., etc. Our offensive line was not terrible. Oregon was that good on the front four, front seven, and we did get 4 sacks. But I just thought that their defense just played better than our offense. And James, I keep calling him James' dad, but Baron Morton would be the first one to tell you he did not have a good game. He just flat did not have a good game. And if he knew why he was not having a bad game, he'd have stopped it, but it didn't work. Well, it just did not work.
And feel free for others to have a good game too. I mean, there were times where you had a running back run into the back of another running back. There were times where you couldn't, once you got through that initial surge, you couldn't get anything further down the field. You know, I mean, there was a
We had a couple of drop passes too.
There was a punt that was a little wonky too.
Yeah.
That gave them pretty good field position.
Yeah.
But I still go back to what I said at the very beginning. Oregon scored 20 of their 23 points essentially off of turnovers. They had one sustained drive, really, that resulted in points. Because the interception in the end zone, yes, it resulted in points, 10 plays, 55 yards for a field goal. Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you stop them, they get a big interception, and all they can muster out of it is a field goal. They get 2 touchdowns because you basically literally handed one of them to them. You know, when the guy takes the ball out of the hands of Morton, he's throwing it, and Craig and I were talking about this earlier, he's throwing it. If that ball had been dropped on the ground, and I mean, you could have made a case that was an incomplete pass.
Yep.
Yeah. But it was probably going to be recovered by somebody. But even if Tech had recovered it, I think you would have said, hey, that was an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
We need that to go back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And then the other one was on downs, at the end of the game when they only had to go like 18 yards.
Yeah, it's just, at the beginning of the game and prior to the game, turnover battle was always something on the front of everybody's mind that you have to win the turnover battle or neutralize it. But you can't give them short fields like that. They're too good. I mean, they're just too good. And regardless, and we did play good defensively, regardless of how good we played.
We played awesome defensively.
That's hard on a defense to back them up 23 yards away and to hold them to a field goal. Oh, man.
I mean, we all know this. You were on the field way too much defensively, especially in the first half.
Somebody said 23 minutes defensively in the first half we were on the field. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. And they performed well.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.